Welcome again to another episode of What's the Crack with the guy who needs no introduction. What's your name? Oh yeah, my mate Dino. G'day mate, how are you?
How are you, mate? I'm good, yourself?
Not too bad, thank you. Well, apart from the fact that my postman's been really busy this week, it's been an amazing week for watches. I've had loads of them come through the post, and actually retro. There's been a lot of little things happening. The first one was this beautiful little G-shock here. I don't know, I'll put that in the screen. There you go, you can just about see it. It'll be better if I didn't turn it upside down as well. So you can see it over here. This is my new G-shock. It's not often I look at a watch straight away. Look, the second time I've used it is for the channel excuse with the missus, and I also bought it within 30 seconds of looking at it. Absolutely love it. Love the orange accents. Already sold out in a lot of areas already, so it's going to be really popular. Say G-shocker yet again. They're releasing some really nice watches at the moment. Casio as well, but their G-shock range with the International Women's Day, which we spoke about last time, absolutely brilliant. Now the one I've got on is actually not a new watch, but I put a strap on it. It's a sterling watch, and I got this as a wedding anniversary gift a couple of years ago and barely wore it actually, and I then realised it was down to the strap. And you have said to me, don't get into straps, because if you do, it's a dark path that some say leads to suffering. And I also put one on my Mr. Jones watch, and so I've gone down this path, and they make these watches look absolutely stunning. And then I realised
I've told you enough.
Yeah. I mean, you've got a load of straps there, haven't you?
This is a dangerous dark hole that you're going to.
Don't do it, folks.
This is the straps that I have. God knows how many is in there.
Yeah.
It's just jiggle a little bit. Like, I don't know if you can see them, but you can see how many.
We spoke about this last week, and we talked about how, putting a new strap on a simple, cheap watch can make it so much classier or just look like a totally different watch. Look at that, yeah.
Look how many bracelets I have. Love it.
Now I'm blaming you, because what I did last episode, you said to me, go to AliExpress. I looked up AliExpress, and there's all these straps for $6, $7. I think about 6 straps cost me $32 all up with postage. And I went, but I've got a brand new watch out one, and I'm wearing it, and I'm loving this. It looks so much better. As you can see over there, I've just put it on the screen. That's the before, and then that's the after, and it just looks so much better. So really into them. And then subliminally I thought to myself, I wonder why I'm doing all these straps. And what arrived in the post yesterday, I've gone and I've been meaning to pull the plug for a few weeks. I've gone and bought a couple of vintage pop swatches.
You did? My God, you've gone nuts.
I bought a couple of vintage pop swatch. I got one for the missus as well, but she's upstairs and doesn't know yet. It's our wedding anniversary coming up. But I bought 2. I loved pop swatches when they were around, and it's changing the strap, changing the face, and I think that's maybe where I got that sort of liking for doing all that again, and went, yeah, brilliant. So yeah, it's been a good week. In real terms, 3 new watches, but with these new straps, 6 new watches, because ones I'm wearing again. So yeah, it's and something we'll look at later on. But watch straps, mate, they can be as dangerous as watches.
You're screwed. I told you not to do it.
And some of them $200, $300.
With the straps?
No, just for the straps. Yeah, I've seen some banging straps. And I'm going, wow, they're really good, and they're more expensive than the watch, 1 or 2 of them. But yeah, it is a little path we might go into in a lot more detail later on. And what's that one?
That's my Laco. So that came on the traditional leather, which I don't mind on the leather, but I think so. I went back to Laco and got the bracelet for it, and honestly, changes it. Absolutely changes it. Not quite $200, but not far off, I suppose. But that there, to me, that's my favourite watch you're just looking at.
Yeah.
On the leather, nice. But on the bracelet, oh, yeah, so much better.
Which leads us nicely into new watches or old new watches. You wanted to talk about the new 1986 Tag re-release, which is an absolute banger.
So excited about it. It's out of my price range, so we'll just start off with that. They're not my price range, but that doesn't mean that I don't like Tag and I like to talk about them. So as you know, I've got 2 vintage Tags myself, and I just love Tag. And I think a lot of the research that I've done was tossing up about buying one of these 1986 original sort of Formula 1 Tags, but they're so small. They're 35 mils. I mean, I have got small wrists, but they're just too small. Yeah. So, you're picking up that watch. Toss up. I've decided against it. But now look at these guys. They've come out with a new one. So they did the Kith thing. They teased us. They said, oh, we're going to bring it out. And they did this bloody thing with Kith, and it was terrible. But now they've actually done it. So they've gone and brought out the new ones. It's a re-release, but they've improved. So instead of 35 mil, it's 38 mil, which is a much more palatable size for everyone, for male, female. They've got some bracelets. You had the old jingly jangly Jubilee bracelets on set when you've had a few beers. On the old 1986 version, but now you've got a much better 3-piece bracelet on this one, a more premium watch, sapphire crystal, and it's just the biggest thing, the solargraph. So it's a solar movement in there. And I was doing a bit of reading on it, and they said it's not just your most basic, citizen movement in there. It's actually a proper premium solar movement in it. They've gone all out. They've properly done it, and I think that's all you can ask. Look, they priced me out. Yeah. I'm out. But what can you do? I just want them to do it properly, and they did it properly.
We still appreciate good watches, and when they're done right. You might not own them, but as horologists or watch enthusiasts, it's just nice to see people with their craft and creating these great homages, because quite often they get it wrong as well, which is one of those good things.
I mean, if they had just done a straight, they could have gone the 35 mil cheap plastic straps, all straight, but they haven't. They've gone proper rubber straps, proper bracelets, and they've just really done it.
Well, they could have collaborated with Swatch and done a ceramic version for you.
Exactly. You see, Swatch, that's how you do it. They've gone out, they've got their watch and said, you know what, we will charge a price. They were always going to do it anyway, but at least they give you a proper watch for it. Now, I haven't touched it. If anyone wants to give me one, I'm here. But yeah, looks fantastic. I'm very excited.
Now, I want to finish today. We're going to, like you did last week with the Bowderi, we wanted to sort of highlight a micro brand. These to me leads nicely into my last video, which I did on music watches, and we looked at watches that had, radios and cassettes on them, vinyl record players, even a CD watch, and then leading into bands themselves. And the one company that stood out for me are Nixon, which you said you didn't know too much about.
No, as I said to you, that there's very few brands that don't pop up on my phone that I don't sit there and look at, and you found one. So please tell me all about it. I don't know.
Mostly because I say, they do a great range of watches, but a lot of they specialize in the music collaborations, and they have some of their watches that were sort of $700 are now selling for 11 grand, which is one of the Metallica watches. My second favorite watch after the Manga is my Nirvana smiley face, because of the irregular face on it. That was really, they used the black Nirvana one, and that's sold out. They've done Rolling Stones, Tupac, Grateful Dead, Beastie Boys. If you like music watches and you're really into bands, got to sign up for their newsletters, because I was in England, you get the 24 hours, you buy the watch, and then they're gone. And they're going to be doing a lot more collaborations, I'm sure, because they're super successful. They've still got a lot of watches still available for certain bands, but as I say, we're trying to highlight watches or companies that do things a little bit different. To me, Nixon, they're fun. They have a great sense of humor. If you just look at this one, the sort of smiley face here, mate, brilliant. This Metallica one, 10 grand it's going for now. and it's just it's out there, and it resonates. I get it. People like yourself, you're going to spend that kind of money on a Speedmaster. I know, I get it.
On a car.
On a car. But look, they're selling, and they're always big fans who want these sort of things. So I just thought I would highlight, my microbrand today, which was Nixon.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I don't know a lot about them, so probably music isn't my style. But good to see that you like quirkiness, and that's cool. They're right there.
I do hear they're possibly doing a Val Doonigan or Engelbert Humperdinck version later for people like yourself. With a sundial movement on it. You just move it in the sun.
That just went over my head, Nick. I don't know who you're talking about.
It went over your head and shined in that direction. Okay, well, that's it for today's episode, and probably the best time we do quit now. Please like, subscribe, share if you like this. We'll see you again in a week's time, and until then, look after yourself. Until the next time, Dino, thank you, mate.
Launch it back up.
Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.